All right, so welcome once more. I would have said let's wait for more people, but they will join in later. So before I start, can I have two people introduce themselves, tell us their names, the tech career that they are looking out for, and why? Let's do that quickly. Did you get my question? This is going to be an interactive session, all right? Not it's unfair already that it's only my camera that is on, so it feels like I'm talking to faceless people, but you are going to compensate by making it a communicative session, all right? So two people quickly tell us your name and the tech area you're interested in and why. All right, Francis. Someone said mic is deactivated. All right. So I'll quickly share my screen and we'll get down to the business of the day. Just give me a sec.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hello, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, my name
Yes, I
is
can hear you.
Oba Museba and can you hear me? My name is Oba Museba and I registered for okay. I registered in the cohort for November and I registered for GROC. Though I'm a bit confused between SOC and GROC, which one to really dive into currently. That's why I decided to join this section because currently I'm also looking for sponsorship job because I'm in the health sector, so I'm a bit confused between. I heard that GRS is a lot of documentation, and me, I'm not a person of documentation like that. But for SOC, I think I know some of those tools. For SOC, I know some of those tools they use. Wireshark, I mean Splink, Wireshark, Virtual Tutor. I know some of those tools they use in SOC because I've done Google certification. So I don't really know. Maybe this class will help me navigate my way to if I have to switch to SOC or maybe on GRC. So,
All right. You are actually in the right session. All right. By the end of this session, you will not be confused anymore. Okay. So welcome. Let me share my screen. Just give me a sec. All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Just give me a reaction. All right. All right, so our topic for today is how security teams monitor, dictate, and respond to threats, and your role in SOC. All right, so monitoring, dictation, and response is the backbone of SOC. All right, and today we'll be looking at each of them. Okay, so let's get down to it. About Amdari. Amdari is an innovative platform designed to revolutionize how aspiring tech professionals build their careers, and gain practical experience. All right, so our mission is to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical experience. So it is common knowledge in tech that you can take courses, theoretical courses. Some people have done masters in tech and cybersecurity, but they don't have this feel of practical experience. All right, they don't have a feel of, okay, using the tools like cybersecurity tools and all of that, to convince recruiters that yes, they are in for the job. All right, so our mission at Amdari is to bridge that gap between theoretical learning and real world experience by providing our users with real life end-to-end practical and hands-on projects, all right, in the following fields such as data analytics, project management, SOC analysis, and whatnot. All right, so this project not only enhances our skills, but also help users build a robust portfolio that showcase their expertise to potential recruiters. All right, so you can give us a follow on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of that. Also, before I continue, please check the chat box. All right, fill your attendance so that you'll be able to get the slide at the end of the presentation. All right, joining me today is Adiza Suleiman. Adiza is a technology expert, all right, with over a decade experience in data analytics and management consulting. He's a founder of Tenalytics and also a co-founder of Amdari. Adiza has helped close to 3,000 people land their first tech jobs with no prior background in IT. So you might be wondering, oh, I'm not from a technical background, all right? When I mean technical background, I mean you don't have a degree in computer science, you don't have a degree in IT or information technology and stuff like that, and you feel like, oh, I'm not going to fit in, or can I land my first job in tech? Can I transition into tech and recruiters take me serious? Yes, this Adiza is an expert who has trained over 3,000 people with no prior tech background to land their first tech roles. So Adiza's experience spans data science consultants for UK and US, and also as a data analyst, business performance for Sahara Group Limited and whatnot. So he has worked in sports, financial services, edutech, energy, and automobile sectors. And currently he resides in Alberta, Canada. Also give him a follow on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. All right. So this is me. I'm not sure this photo did me justice, but I'll let it slide. So Joy is a cybersecurity specialist, a SOC analyst with nearly 5 years of expertise in the field. All right. So I've worked across sectors like financial tech and healthcare. All right. So designing and implementing resilient security frameworks and help organizations to stay one step ahead of cyber attackers. So my expertise spans incident response, disaster recovery, and threat hunting. I have deep knowledge in identifying and mitigating cyber threats, along with a strategic approach to incident response and recovery. It makes me a trusted expert in the field to stay ahead of emerging threats, ensuring organizations are always one step ahead. So you can give me a follow on LinkedIn as well. This is a clickable link. So what are we discussing today? What are we discussing today? We are discussing the SOC cycle. All right, from our topic, how security teams monitor, detect, and respond to threats. We'll be discussing the SOC cycle. All right, basically, this makes up the SOC cycle. Also, the tools behind each of these phases. All right, each of the SOC cycle, we'll be discussing the tools behind it. Then we'll be seeing SOC in action. So we'll be getting insights from Splunk dashboard, Suricata, and Windows Event Viewer. Also, we'll be talking about Amdari Work Experience Internship Program, where you learn about our internship program, right? And lastly, if you stay to the end of this session, you'll be able to get our special offer for you. All right, so these are all the things that we'll be discussing. Sorry. All right, why cyber defense matters. The average attacker still dwells in network for weeks before detection, all right? So for organizations that don't have cybersecurity professionals, all right, when they probably because they can't afford the budget, they feel like cybersecurity is too expensive to afford and stuff like that. They don't have cybersecurity professionals. So when attackers, breach into their network, they can stay undetected for over weeks and even close to a month, all right, evading detection and gathering intelligence on their network. What is our mission as SOC analysts and cybersecurity professionals? Our mission is to shrink that window to minutes. All right, when you have cybersecurity professionals, you gain the skills, all right, to be able to detect malicious threat actors and mitigate threats in minutes, all right, because time is of essence in the cyber warfare. So that's why every second counts, as every alert can mean a real world impact. All right, so next is the 3 pillars of cyber resilience. All right, so we are still talking about monitoring, detect, and respond. So what is monitor? What's the concept of monitor? Monitor is to continuously observe for new threats. All right, you visualize data using SIM solutions. We'll talk about that later in the presentation. So you visualize data on your Splunk dashboard, your SIM solutions, whatever you use, Microsoft Sentinel and whatnot. So just to monitor, what is the concept between monitoring? To just observe and continuously observe for new, threats and all of that, stay ahead of cyber criminals. And then what is detection? To detect is to identify potential security threats, all right? Set up detection systems in place to detect when cyber attackers are onto the network. And then to respond is to take action against identified threats, all right? So what are the key takeaways of this? Continuous feedback loop forming the backbone of every SOC operation center, all right? So in every SOC operation center, we have the 3 pillars of cyber resilience, which is to monitor, to detect, and to respond. All right, so this is a circle. All right, so every phase fits into the next. Data visibility. Now, this is where monitoring comes in. All right, when you monitor, you have a visualized dashboard for visibility, and from the visibility, you gather threat intelligence. All right, using the various threat intelligence platform that we have, and then this will prompt us for rapid action, which is to respond. All right, so I know that this is overwhelming. So some of us would be like, well, I'm not from a tech background. I don't have background in IT and stuff, right? So I don't know if I can fit in. You don't even know if this is feasible, moving from a non-technical background to a technical background, a very, very technical background. And I can tell you that I'm also a testimony, right? Because I moved from medical field and now I'm a successful SOC analyst, all right? So before I continue or share, talk more about the 3 pillars of cyber resilience, let's take a moment to share a story of some of our consultants who, just like you, they had doubts, all right? But, after they come into Amdari and we helped them out, they were able to land their first jobs within the first 3 months. All right, so meet Benjamin. Benjamin is my consultant, or was my consultant. I remember when he came into Amdari, he was a chemical engineer with no background in computer or IT, all right? So when he came in, he was like, Coach, I don't know, I'm skeptical. I don't know if this field is for me. Everything looks so overwhelming. Everything looks so, not feasible. I don't know if it's something I can do and all of that, all right? So I just told him, you need to put in effort. Attend your sessions, submit your deliverables, do your project and all of that. And with that, you get your job. So one of the projects we worked on was Splunk, all right? So I gave them a case study on Splunk, how to visualize their data in Splunk dashboard. And after that, Benjamin posted it on LinkedIn and it caught the attention of technical recruiters, which they said, okay, they want to schedule a interview with him, and he got back to me. I was like, okay, we'll prep you for interview, right? So I prepped him for interview as well as employability specialist, all right? So we have an employability specialist who will revamp your CV, optimize your LinkedIn, and prep you for interview. So alongside the employability specialist, we prepped Benjamin for interview, and he was able to get the job. You can see here where he's sharing his testimony, right? That he's been given a job as a cybersecurity engineer. Now, this is somebody who moved from a chemical engineering background to cybersecurity engineering background in just 3 months, right? Because before he came to Amdari, he took courses. He just took, theoretical courses, but no practical experience, all right, which was why he was skeptical in the first place. But after joining Amdari, 3 months into the program, he landed a role that was paying up to £50,000 per annum, all right? So this can be your experience too. All right, so meet Sophia. Sophia is recently completed her master's in cybersecurity. All right, so she had a master's in cybersecurity, but yet she has not gotten this feel of practical. All right, so she doesn't, there is no practical, like she didn't do any practical in school and all of that. Everything is just theory. According to her, she looked at the job descriptions, and yes, she knows what they mean by able to carry out vulnerability assessment, able to carry out malware analysis and all of that, but she have not done it. All right, she's not used these tools before. She does not have a work experience, so she didn't feel confident in even applying for roles, which was why she came to Amdari. All right, so when she came to Amdari, you can see her sharing her testimony. Right, so the practicals that she did at Amdari 2 months into the program made her to write some global certifications in cybersecurity that enabled her to land her first role in cybersecurity. All right, so lastly, Miss Sandra. Sandra joined our work experience program, all right, the GRC road, and she wanted to gain hands-on experience in cybersecurity necessary for landing a role. So 3 months into the program, she joyfully announced that she has landed a high-paying position and left her old job. All right, so according to the screenshot, you can see how happy she is that, cybersecurity is a high-paying role. I don't need you to, I don't need anybody to tell me that cybersecurity is a high-paying role. So she was very happy to leave her old job and get this new job. All right, so just as these people, you can also do it. All right, so I don't want you wondering that, oh, disturbing yourself, I don't have the practical experience, I don't even know if I'll be able to do this. Amdari is the place for you. All right, we build projects, we give you case studies, we give you real world scenarios where you get your practical work experience program and you convince the recruiters that you are the one for the job. All right, so now where were we when before the plot thickened? I was talking about monitor, detect, and respond. All right, so let's take that one after the other. So pillar one, tech monitor. All right, so what's the concept? Excuse me, sorry. So to monitor, what are the tools that we use in monitoring? All right, we use security information and event management, which is our SIM solutions, to monitor our systems. All right, so we have various tools like Microsoft Sentinel, we have Splunk Dashboard, we have Splunk Cloud, Splunk Enterprise, we have QRadar, we have Washo. All right, so these are different varieties of SIM solutions that organizations adopt or use to visualize their data and to monitor their system against cyber attack. All right, so what's the core idea? Visibility drives protection because you can't defend what you can't see. All right, so you need to see what you are defending. You need to see users that are logged into the Splunk dashboard, which user clicked on a phishing email, which user introduced a malware unknowingly into the system. All right, so you need to see all of this to be able to stay one step ahead of the cyber attackers. And I've spoken about the tools. All right, we use Splunk Cloud, we use Syslog, CloudWatch, Windows Event Logs. All right, here at Amdari, we teach you a variety of tools, right, such as Splunk Dashboard, Washo, and Windows Event Viewer. So monitoring in action with Splunk. Now, this is supposed to be a technical demo, right? But we are kind of pressed for time, so there is no way I could log into our Splunk dashboard and give us a practical. All right, but this is a screenshot. So aggregating logs from endpoints, where do we get our log that we ingest in the first place? All right, so you can get your logs from Windows Event Viewer. All right, to get the logs from the day's activities if you want to visualize in Splunk, all right, or any other SIM solutions. So we get logs from firewalls, we get log from servers, we get logs from cloud and endpoints. All right, and then Splunk uses an SQL query, all right, for their search. All right, so here is a Splunk dashboard. Okay, so like I said, I can't log into Splunk right now and start showing us the various compartments in Splunk, but here is a screenshot. All right, so here is a project that some of our consultants worked on. All right, so I don't think you can see this, but it's displaying failed logins, like 3 failed logins attempts, and then number of logins is 5 with 4 distinct users. All right, so when you want to use Splunk, you create users. All right, you create users here. Let me see if I can. Sorry. So you create users. I created 4 users, and we can see number of failed login attempts from the upload we did. All right, so you upload your logs in CSV or JSON format. So I know I'm speaking technical terms now, but when you make research or join Amdari, you understand better. All right, so this is a pictorial representation of Splunk dashboard. Here you get to see the country originating IP address, you see the destination port number, destination address, you see the country where the attack is coming from. So this is visualization in action, right? Because you can't see, just like I said earlier, you can't protect what you can't see, all right? So you need to see what you are protecting, and Splunk dashboard, as well as other SIM solutions, got you for that. All right, so the second pillar is detection, okay? So what is the concept behind detection? First, for you to use intrusion detection systems, you need to conduct threat intelligence, all right? So you need to gather intelligence for you to be able to have enough information to create rules to block malicious access to your network. So you conduct threat intelligence, then you use detection tools like maybe Suricata or Snots. These are open source tools. I don't want to call the commercial ones, all right? So these are open source tools that you can use to write rules to block malicious access. So let's say for the Splunk dashboard now, all right, we have 3 failed login attempts. Okay, so we want to block the IP addresses of these people that gain unauthorized access, or these malicious actors that gain unauthorized access to our systems. So first, we gather intelligence, all right, using using Virus Total and various OSINT platforms, all right? So we gather intelligence on the malware, the type of malware they used, how did they gain access to our network and stuff. And then we use it to create a rule to block the malicious IP addresses from coming into our system the next time, all right? So this is a key message, turning raw data into actionable sites. So you've gotten intelligence from threat intelligence fields, all right? You've gotten your information, which is the raw data, all right? And then we need to turn it into actionable insights, which is creating a rule to block malicious access from intruding inside our system. And then, like I said, we can use Suricata to do that, all right? And we can also use Snot. I know some of us have read about such things, but maybe you've not used it, all right? Here at Amdari, we got you covered on that. So example, from noise to signal, all right? So suspicious hash identified from phishing domains. So all of these are indicator of compromise that you can use. I know I'm speaking probably in technical terms, but some of my cyber people can understand. So indicator of compromise are things to look out for, all right, when you are making your investigation. So suspicious hash identified from phishing attachments, all right? Analysis extracts indicators of compromise. Malicious command and control. So CP means command and controls. IPs like our IP addresses, URLs, and file hashes. All of these are indicators of compromise that we use to create a rule to block malicious access, all right? So data is correlated across Splunk dashboard for pattern recognition. We need to recognize the patterns, all right? So outcome from a single alert to a confirmed threat pattern, all right? So you've not worked as a SOC analyst. If not, you will relate to this. You can just wake up in the morning, log into the dashboard, and you see about 70 alerts that has been triggered. Now you need to sit down and investigate them all. So that's basically what it means, all right? So here is how I integrated threat intelligence into Linux server to identify malicious file hash. All right, so just like I said, it's supposed to be a mini demo, but we are pressed for time, all right? So that's why I included screenshots. So here is a perfect example of we don't have time, all right? As cyber security professionals, you should be able to know how to detect malicious access in few minutes, all right? You don't need to wait for hours on end that you are investigating one alert, or you are blocking malicious access, or you are detecting malicious access, all right? You need to gain the skills to be able to block them in minutes, all right? Because time is of essence in a cyber warfare, all right? So this screenshot, basically, I wrote a script as well as my consultant. He wrote a script on how to block malicious access, all right? And how to identify malicious hashes. So I wrote a script, and instead of me, here is a combination of 50 hashes, all right? So we cannot spend the whole day investigating 50 hashes. So what did we do? We created a simple script in YAML format, and integrated it into our Linux. So this is a Linux server, like you say. It's looking all strange for people who they are not conversant with Linux operating system, all right? So this is not Windows, this is Linux, and this is the scripts, all right, in action, identifying one of them as malicious. You can see flagged by 63 vendors. All right, so this is how you detect malicious access in minutes. All right, instead of spending the whole day, going on threat intelligence platforms to, identify which one is malicious or not. All right, so second screenshot is how I detected malicious access with Suricata. All right, so I use Suricata to create a rule after detecting the malicious hash. All right, I created a rule to block that malicious access from entering our system. All right. So here is a screenshot as well. Detected suspicious TCP access. All right. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of this. It's too much. It's a lot for us. But then this is how it looks like. All right. So writing a Suricata signature that flags traffic to malicious command and control. CP means command and control IP. So we use this IP. We blocked this IP from infiltrating our network next time. All right. So that's the anatomy of the rule explained line by line. All right. So this brings us to the third pillar. Are we having fun, guys? Give me a reaction. So it doesn't mean like I'm talking to myself. Okay. So pillar 3 is response. Okay. So what's the concept behind response? Incident response and security orchestration, automation, and response, which is the SOC. I don't know if you've heard of SOAR, all right? SOAR is security, orchestration, automation, and response. So these are automation tools or automated tools that are integrated into our SIM solution for rapid containment, eradication, and response, all right? So what is the metric? Time to detect, which is the TTD, to time to respond, TTR, all right? So SOAR, which is SOAR, is integrated into our same solution for automated response, all right? That's the third pillar of cyber resilience. So incident response playbook. Now, this is a role. You often see job descriptions and roles such as level 1 SOC analyst and in brackets incident response. So level 1 SOC analysts are the first incident responders to cybersecurity incidents, and this is basically their job role, all right? So step 1 in the incident response process is alert verification. You need to verify the alert because sometimes we might have false positives, all right? Not all alerts are credible, so you need to verify them one by one, all right? And then step 2 is to identify the scope of the attack, all right? Step 3 is isolate the endpoint because, of course, one endpoint has been infected, all right? So in order to avoid infection by other servers and endpoints, we need to isolate that endpoint. When I mean endpoint is like your gadget, a system, a server, all right? So isolate the endpoint, that is the affected endpoints, all right, from other servers and endpoints, all right? So step 4 is eradicate and recover. You need to eradicate that threat. You need to eradicate that malicious access, all right? So what is the key message and key takeaway today? Consistency and speed are achieved through playbooks and not by guesswork. Sorry. So consistency and speed are achieved through playbooks and not by guesswork during crisis, all right? So crisis, of course, a cyber warfare is a crisis, all right? It's as if you are fighting a war, just like you are fighting a digital war, all right? Not a physical war. So you need to be consistent and you need to apply speed, all right, to achieve a playbook, all right? So you cannot just be guessing, oh, I think is this, I think is that. You don't guess in an incident response strategy, all right? So are we learning, guys? Give me a reaction. All right. Let's pause. More Amdari success stories, all right? So like I said before, I know that SOC and cybersecurity in general is, even tech in general is, is very vast, is overwhelming, all right, for especially for beginners and especially for those who don't even have a background, all right. I want to tell you that it's doable. Recruiters are not looking out for your certifications, they are not looking out for your degrees, all right. They are not looking out for your background. Nobody is asking you that question. What they want to know is what can you do, all right, to the organization? What help can you render to the organizations? Can you do this? All right, that's 90% of the time. That's the question they're asking you, and that question simply means, do you have practical experience for the role? All right, so you can go online, search, and take courses, gain skills in cybersecurity and all, but you don't have that feel of practical experience. You see job descriptions, yes, you know what the concept means, but you don't know how to use the tools. All right, so here at Diary we get you covered, and so you should listen to some of our success stories from our consultants. All right, so last week we onboarded some cybersecurity consultants. All right, so just I'd love to share some of the videos that they, or the recording that they made, all right, about their story in Amdari. Sorry. All right, so listen to some of our success stories. All right, so meet Stella. Sorry. Stella is grateful to her coach and Amdari for helping her build connections and build her confidence in answering interview questions, especially regarding job descriptions. All right, so before Amdari, all right, Stella was having issues with, gaining confidence to answer to recruiters' questions, all right, because of course she doesn't have the practical experience, so she was not really feeling confident, all right. But after her program at Amdari, let's hear what she has to say. Okay.
Joy, if you're playing the video, we can't hear anything.
Sure. You can't hear the video. Okay,
Not
wait.
at all.
Okay, let me restart. Sorry. Can you hear it now?
No, we can't. Do you
Okay.
know what, Joy? Just I think pause from your end. Let me try to play it from mine, and I think it should play from here.
All
So
right.
just yeah, you can stop sharing and let me go ahead and share.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you confirm that you Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you confirm?
All right, I think I'm just going to allow this to load. Joy, I'll just play a
All right.
different video, a different testimonial
All right.
very quickly. So, what Joy is trying to show, in essence, is for a lot of candidates, one of the major challenges they face is they have the skills, they've gone for some training, but they don't have experience to land a job. Okay. And for us at Amdari, the focus is on helping you land work experience, helping you land jobs through work experience. So I want you to listen to some of our interns. We call them consultants that have come into Amdari. They've gained work experience. So much of the things Joy has shown you today, they've learned how to do them. They've worked on real world projects and they've been able to land jobs. Okay. I'll come back and play this one. For some reason, it's kind of pausing at the moment, but let's listen to some amazing other professionals. All right. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
My name is Alima Talabisayela, I'm a data science consultant at Samdari.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael.
My name is Olani Saliu, a data analyst.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ken, and I'm a business analyst consultant with Amdari.
My name is Martha, and I was part of the May project management cohort at the Amdari apprenticeship program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Damilola, and I'm here to share my experience as a data analyst training with Amdari.
I am here to give honor to whom honor is due.
Would be given live projects to work on, real life projects to work on, and also a lot of tools that I haven't come across or used in my daily work. So it's been a very good experience. It's been great. It's been challenging because it is pretty much like a second job, and it would push you and it would push you to actually do better.
Now, the reason why I'm here is because I've just landed a leadership role interview with one of the big councils in the UK. And this is very huge for me because it's always what I've wanted to do is a leadership position. And that's in the line of what I've always wanted to do.
It's been a really awesome experience. And I started in November last year. And right now I have landed myself a senior role in the procurement, and it was the training that I got from Andari.
All I'm saying is that this is huge for me because I have been applying for jobs. I have not even gotten one interview. And just the one time I got an interview, I got an interview in a leadership position. That is huge. Thank you, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't know, just keep saving lives. My name is Martha, and I was.
Okay, so those are amazing professionals who have been able to land jobs. So Joy, I think I'll just take over from here. You go sort those other things out and then you come back. Okay. So what I'll be doing today, Joy introduced me at the beginning of the session. Can you hear me, Joy? Okay. So Joy.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, brilliant. So Joy introduced me at the beginning of the session, and she mentioned that I'll be walking you through the importance of experience in landing a job. All right. So I'm going to run through my slides for the next 20 minutes. And my focus is to show you the importance of what recruiters want to see from you. So for so many people, especially those of you in the UK, you focus a whole lot on masters, credentials. Do I have this certification or do I have this degree? But the recruiters actually want that. That's the question you need to ask yourself. So looking at things from the recruiter's perspective. All right. So I'm going to walk you through this for the next 20 minutes. We'll have the opportunity to have a conversation, take questions and answers, and then we have an amazing time together. Okay. So feel free If you have any questions, make a note of that question, and then we'll take those Q&A. If you have a friend that is not here yet that you know would benefit from something like this, you want to get them into our session today. All right. Now, the biggest challenge most candidates face, like I said, is credibility. All right. So when it comes to knowing how to do the job, knowing exactly what the organization wants you to solve, the type of problems they want you to solve, a whole lot of people don't know how to do this. So you've attended one training. At the beginning, I think I listened to the gentleman who said, I've done one certification and I've done the other certification. But do employers actually want certifications from you? And many candidates have the skills. They've gone for some boot camp, they've gone for some training, but employers find it very difficult to connect those certification and skills that you have to the real work of solving problems for them. And that's why so many people struggle a lot in the job market before they land a job. And for some of them, they get frustrated and take up other type of, jobs that they don't want to do, the care jobs, working in the warehouse, and so on and so forth. Okay. So if you don't have credibility, you'll struggle to land that job. And the best way for you to overcome this challenge is not to show employers what you can do, okay? Not to tell them that this is what I can do, but actually show them what you've done. Don't tell people what you can do, show them what you've done, okay? So all the amazing professionals that have been able to land jobs, and I'll share some success stories with you. You listen to Martha, you listen to some other amazing professionals. They did 4 key things and some other things I'll be sharing with you. Number one is they worked in real world teams. They worked together with team members in the real world, solving projects and problems together. So not just solo projects where you have to figure things out yourself. And I'll show you the platform. I'll show you what your internship, what the inside looks like. Okay. How do you join your stand-up sessions? How do you join your drop-in meetings? How do you collaborate together, solving problems? All right. So you solve group projects, you work on problems together, and you have access to mentors, you have access to coaches that can help you see what you've done and guide you on how to solve those problems. So when you solve problems and you make mistakes, just like your line manager in the real world of work would advise you and say, hey, you could have done this better, or you could have done this way. You have a line manager at Amdari. Your line managers are your mentors, they are your coaches, and they are also, we call them the specialists. And they walk you through on how to solve problems. And for the mistakes you make, they give you feedback and you know exactly what to change. You learn the workplace lingo. All right. How do you speak certain language when you're getting into SOC, you're getting into GRC, into ethical hacking, penetration testing? What type of terms and terminologies do you have to use during interviews? Okay. So you learn how to use that. And of course, you have to get visible on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a powerhouse that showcases what you can do and what you have done. And all these amazing professionals also knew exactly what employers want. And I'm going to walk you through that and show you exactly what employers are looking for and what you need to focus on. And how do we do it at Amdari? We do it in 3 broad steps. And for us at Amdari, what we say we do and we provide to all our interns and consultants is we totally rebrand you from who you are to who you want to be. Okay. So a lot of people focus, like I said, on credentials. You have a master's, you've gone to the UK for your master's. For some of you, you have so many certifications, but that has not translated into any type of job. So what we do is to rebrand you in 3 key broad ways. Number one is intern. So you intern with us. And the moment you join us, you're not a learner, you call yourself a consultant. Okay, a consultant. Now, doesn't it sound more exciting? I want you to give me a thumbs up if you agree, or if you disagree, you give me a thumbs down. I want to hire a SOC analyst. Okay. And there are two people I've not asked my question yet. Okay. So let me ask the question and then give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm considering hiring two candidates for a SOC role, a security operations center role. All right. One candidate on their current LinkedIn profile, their current job states SOC consultant with Amdari. The second person has procurement analyst with a company. I want to hire for a SOC analyst role. One says SOC consultant with Amdari. The other one says procurement analyst. You would agree with me that having the title SOC consultant on your LinkedIn would give you a better chance of landing that job compared to the person who is in procurement trying to get into the SOC analyst role. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Okay, Awaji gave a thumbs up. I want to see Joy, Vincent, Mahmood. Fantastic. And I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Okay. Now, for some of you, and I've seen so many people do this, you want to get a job in cybersecurity, but your current role states that you work in care. You're a care worker, you're a nurse, or you're an accountant, or you're in a different career entirely. How do you want an employer to be confident enough to hire you if they can't see that you are currently on that role or you've done something within the SOC space or cybersecurity space, and so on and so forth? We are in the era today where employers, especially in the UK, with all the recent immigration changes, employers are more circumspect, they're more deliberate when hiring. They don't want to go for the person they feel would perform. They go for the candidates they know would perform. And one of the ways they know you would perform is simply when they see that you are on that role. So the moment you join us, you become a consultant because you work on projects, you solve problems just like you would in the real world environment. So that's the first thing you do. All right. You join our remote apprenticeship virtual experience program. And for those of you that have some gaps in your knowledge, okay, so let's assume you want to join the SOC specialization, for example, and you really don't have all the knowledge. You have some deficit in your knowledge base. So one of the things we show you how to do is we brush up your knowledge and close up the gap. And I'll show you exactly what that means. Okay. Just give me 1 second and I'll show you exactly what that means. So on your platform, and everybody has access to this platform as long as you've joined Amdari. Okay. So this is where you have access to your projects. You have access to your portfolio because you will build a portfolio, and the importance of building a portfolio cannot be overemphasized. I'll come back to this and speak about it. But now you've joined Amdari, but you have some deficits. There are some areas you're not entirely confident in with regarding your skills. We have a platform called the Learn platform. Okay, so you have access to the Learn platform, and when you get to the Learn platform, you have access to short courses, crash courses you can easily take to cover the gap that you have. Okay, so joining Amdari is not a training. It's not a training program. It's not where you join to learn. We expect you to have the skills. You've done some training somewhere, but you don't have work experience. You don't have knowledge of how to do the job, the practical experience. Okay, and that's where Amdari comes in. But again, some people have good competence, while some would have some level of gaps to close. So if you have some gaps you want to close, all you need to do is come in here. Say you want to join SOC, for example, or GRC, governance, risk and compliance, or ethical hacking. You click on the course you want to quickly brush up your knowledge on. You go right there, and you'd see different courses you can take. Okay, so SOC analyst and log analysis. You can come in here, click on this. You have access to this. You can watch the video, brush up your knowledge, and you know exactly how to solve that problem you're trying to solve. So this is more like an add-on for you. Okay. And it brushes up all the gap you have. And this is this is where you start your journey. So if you don't have any gap in your knowledge, you have all the skills required to get into SOC. Immediately, you start working on projects. All right. So the second thing we do, because we know that having the skills or having the work experience is not enough. We also provide you with employability skills. We package you, and packaging is presenting and positioning you as the best candidate for that job. So we will help you review and revamp your CV. This is what gets you in front of the recruiter. So we review your CV, we revamp your CV for you, ensure it's keyword optimized, and then we show you subsequently how to tailor your CV to job requirements. So when you put in that application, you will get called for an interview. We help you with your LinkedIn optimization. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, we show you how to create one. If you have one already, we optimize your LinkedIn for you. And then you have your mentorship sessions every Thursday. Today, for example, there is a mentorship session going on that will start in the next 9 minutes. Okay, that's 9 p.m. UK time, depending on where you're joining from, and so on. All right. So there's a mentorship session every single Thursday, and that session is where myself, the co-founder, the other two co-founders, and we bring in other industry experts, and we hold your hands to ensuring that all the questions you have, we handhold you to ensure you have a smooth journey in landing the job. So all the mistakes we made, we've gone through the fire. Some of us have gotten burnt. We've survived, and we've come out at the other end of the tunnel. So we don't want you to get burnt as well. Okay, so we hold your hand and ensure that you have a smooth sailing journey. And when you have an interview, just like Joy said, you have professionals who'd help you prep and prepare for that interview. All you have to do is go to your dashboard. I'll show you how to do that. You book your interview prep, and you'd have a sit down, a one-on-one session with a professional who has been in that space for at least 5 years, knows exactly the type of questions that are likely going to come up, prepare you for the technical interview, prepare you for the behavioral, the culture fit, and so on and so forth. So you go into the room and you present and represent yourself in the best way possible. Okay. And more importantly, I can't emphasize how important this is. And a lot of people don't have this. I've seen so many people that have gotten jobs, they've gotten offers, but when they are asked to provide references, can I see a reference? Can you provide a reference from a company where you have applied all these skills that you say you have? That's where they lose the job, because they don't have references. So again, like I mentioned, one of the first things you do when you join us is you become a consultant working with us. So you list Amdari as part of your work experience, both on LinkedIn, on the CVs you use to apply to jobs. So when that recruiter, say you get a job with the NHS, with Deloitte, with any organization, all right, they reach out to us and we verify and confirm and validate your skills, that you do have the skills to land that job. And that's where the job reference comes in. Any UK recruiter would validate and do a background check on you. And if you don't have a solid references, you will not get that job. Okay. Now, once you've gotten the job, you need some extra support. We provide you with on-the-job support to ensure that you have a soft landing, and to also ensure that you keep that job. Right. So this is the packaging part, where we ensure that we present and position you as the best candidate for that job. And I'll show you very quickly, okay, some of these things, and how when you join, how exactly you get to interact with this. So I'll show you a typical, let's go to one of the SOC program, okay? So this is what part of your platform. So you have the live platform, and then you also have the platform where you have access to your portfolio, your dashboard, which is what I showed you earlier. Okay. So now, when you join, and I'll show you some of the projects, you're going to work on and all of that. So this is a project. This is the 5th project for this particular group. Okay. Detecting unauthorized What's this called again, Joy? Security Shell?
SSH access.
SSH access, okay? So this is a project on SOC, okay? So you have your project overview. So the project overview is where you understand exactly what this project is all about, okay? So this is a project for a real company. The name has just been changed because of data privacy, and the data has also been modified. So you cannot tie any part of the data to any organization. All right. So you look at the company overview, you look at the challenge. What challenge are they facing at the moment? And for me, as a SOC analyst, how do I help them solve this problem? Okay. So part of the issues they have is operational pressure, high volume, because they have real time payment processing demands. There's financial risk, exposure of their sensitive data, and so on. All right. Their traditional monitoring systems have limitations. There are high false positives, and so on and so forth. Okay. And it has a major impact on the business. So you come in and solve this problem for these organizations, and you are doing it together with your mentor and your coach. Okay. So you have something called your drop-in sessions, the live session. So when you work in the office, you report to a line manager where you show them what you've done. They give you guidance and say, okay, this is where it stops, or we need to go a step further. The same way when you join Amdari, you have your drop-in sessions. So you're meeting with your mentors, they're guiding you to say, this is what you've done, this is what is not right, this is how to modify, and so on and so forth. Okay. So here, every single live session is recorded. So when you have that stand-up meeting, the stand-up session to look at what you've done and give you feedback, it's also recorded so that if you've missed anything, you actually don't miss anything. So I'm just going to play this just for you to see how these sessions happen. So this is one of the consultants, Remilekun. Remilekun is speaking. It's on mute, so you might not hear what Remilekun is saying, okay? So Remilekun is speaking. Here you get to solve the project, you solve the problems together, and you interact with your coaches and your mentors, okay? And they guide you on what to do. They show you what you should do going forward, the mistakes you've made, what you have not considered. And when you do all of this, guess what? You upload your work into a portfolio, okay? Your portfolio is your warehouse. That's what shows that you've worked on this project, you have experience doing this particular job. And when you get into interviews and you're asked to showcase what you can do, you have the link to your portfolio to share and showcase what you can do. And I'll show you what a portfolio looks like very quickly. So if you go to your platform, you have portfolio. If you click on portfolio, so all the projects you work on, you get them into this portfolio. So this is a portfolio for a data engineer, actually. So you see the different projects you've worked on, and depending on the program you've joined data engineering, you've joined SOC in cybersecurity, ethical hacking, penetration testing, or business analysis, you have access to all your projects. Okay. Now these projects and the link to your portfolio, so that recruiters get to know how good you are even before they meet you. You can add this to your LinkedIn. So if I click on share, I can share this on any of the social media platforms if I want to, or I can simply copy this link and I paste it on my CV, I paste it on my LinkedIn profile, and any organization, any recruiter, any hiring manager can see the project I have worked on and how good I am. All right. So, and of course, when it also comes to your mentorship, I'll just show you a little bit of that. And then we move on to the other area, the most important part as well, which is where to apply, how to apply to land the jobs you want to get. Okay. So if you scroll through your resource center, you'd also get to see these are all the different projects. These are projects on automating patch deployment. You have other projects, the kill chain technical analysis, and so on and so forth. So you see all the projects you work on. And then you have employability sessions, okay? Your CV optimization sessions, your LinkedIn optimization sessions where we show you how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. All right. You have tasks, you have assignments, and of course, you also have your mentorship sessions. Every single Thursday, you have a mentorship session. Okay. The most recent session we had was around, we did a mock interview session. Okay. So, of course, you also have your LinkedIn optimization, and these are the things you get to have in your resource center. Okay. Now, when you have an interview, what you need to do is when you go to your platform under internship, this is your internship management system. Okay. So you come here, you have access to amazing stuff. You can book a consultation from here. Okay. Speak to your consultants and so on and so forth. And this is where you also get to, you can book an interview prep from here as well. If you have an interview, you can book an interview prep and somebody would prep you for that interview. Okay, so all of this is in your dashboard and you have access to this. If you want to defer, maybe for a month, you have some commitments, you want to do that, you simply click on defer and you're able to defer your internship to the next month or the month after, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a robust platform that gives you access to amazing stuff, interacting with your specialists and the consultants that would help you. And finally, how to apply and where to apply. Again, a lot of candidates apply to only the common job boards, CV Library, read.co.uk, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Monster, ZipRecruiter, and so on and so forth. But what we do at Amdari is to ensure that we pay to the paid platforms. So there are paid platforms that are exclusively visa sponsor jobs. And we know that you're trying to get a job or you're trying to transition. So you don't want to go ahead and pay to a job board because you want to apply to jobs. So what we do is we pay to these job boards, the paid job boards that not everybody has access to. We scrape the jobs from there, we vet them, and then we post them to your job board. Okay, and I'll show you what the job board looks like. So same on your platform again, you have access to the job board. Now, the beauty about this is you have access to jobs that your contemporaries, your counterparts don't have access to. So you get interviews a lot faster. All right. So, and the jobs that come with visa sponsorship, you'd see the marker right there that says visa sponsorship. So this is a global operations analyst role. You'd see visa sponsorship, and this is your job board. You can break it down. You can come in here and search for a role, cybersecurity. Okay, cybersecurity, select the location and so on. Sorry, let me be more specific. So we can say SOC, for example, and it will show us jobs around SOC, project management related, I beg your pardon, cybersecurity related jobs, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you get to search in the job board and get access to jobs that come with visa sponsorship and jobs from other platforms that are also paid, that not everybody has access. And you have unfettered access, get jobs, get interviews a lot faster, and this gets you that job a lot faster compared to your counterparts. Okay, did a cybersecurity manager role, visa sponsorship, one of the NHS trusts, security analysts. So a SOC analyst can apply to this job, for example. It's also visa sponsorship. Information security analyst role. It's also with visa sponsorship. So these are jobs that you don't just find on CV Library. You don't just find on read.co or jobs.gov.uk. You don't find these jobs there. You find them on paid platforms and you have access to this platform. Okay. And this is how you stand out. The most important thing for you is to do what? To stand out. And for us at Amdari, we ensure that you stand out. Okay. And I'll show you what a reference looks like. So what does a reference look like? This is Ene. Ene joined one of our work experience programs. And in April this year, she got an offer. And again, the recruiter wanted how to provide a reference. Okay, is there anybody that can validate that you have these skills? So what did Ene do? She listed me as a reference and they reached out to me. So this is on the 22nd of April. They reached out to me. Hi, Adeza Suleiman. Please provide a reference for Ene. So all I did was to click on this link right here, fill the form, filled all the details that employers would want to know. So they want to know when you worked with us, were you absent? Did you miss work? What's the best way to work with you? And so on and so forth. Okay. I filled all the details. And on the 25th of April, 3 days after, hi Adeza, NS said, thank you for providing an everlasting reference on Zinc. NS joined our data science work experience. Okay. And I'll show you what NS LinkedIn looks like. Okay. So Anna is a fantastic professional and she got a job in April this year. So that's Anna right there. She joined our data science work experience. Okay. So if you go to Anna's profile, one of the things you'd see is what data scientists at Amdari. Now, the importance of this, like I said, is when they know that you are already on that job, the employers, the potential employers, and the recruiters, when they know you're already on that job, it gives them the confidence that yes, you can do the job for them because you're already doing it for another organization. Okay. So in April, Anna landed this job with DSA. Anna lives in the UK, but she works for this company remotely. The company is in Germany. And this was the reference that helped Anna Ojaide keep that job and solidify her role within the company. So what you've seen so far is a methodical step of not just applying, throwing your CV out there, hoping that something sticks without having a strategy on how you go about it. Okay. And that's why we are very heavy on employability skills. Your CV, LinkedIn review, navigating the job market, where to apply, how to apply. We prepare you for interviews when you have interviews. You have your mentorship sessions where you have the opportunity to be handheld through your journey so you don't make the same mistakes that others who have gone before you made. And of course, if you have an offer, we provide you with a reference to keep that job, validate and vouch for your skills. And finally, if you have challenges on the job, we work with you to ensure you have a solid footing. All right. So Amdari is not the training you know or you've known about or you've attended. Amdari collapses learning and transforms learning into work experience for you. So you have your stakeholder meetings, you have feedbacks, just like I showed you, working on projects. You have real tools, real collaboration, real deliverables. And within the space of 4 months, you have the opportunity to transform the skills you have into the work experience that would enable you land that job. All right. So like I said, we're going to have a Q&A before we wrap up. Okay. So you have the opportunity to ask all the questions you want to ask. But before we get there, one thing I want to mention is employers today, again, I'm targeting the UK most especially because of the recent, changes to immigration. But it doesn't matter where you are. Amdari gives you the work experience you need to land a job, irrespective of your location. But employers in the UK today are very deliberate about who they hire. All right. So if you've done your master's, I did my master's in the UK. I studied at the University of Bradford. And I know and I can tell you categorically that the university does not give you the skills to help you solve real world problems. Okay. You work on your thesis, you work on so many group projects, you work on class task, group task, but they don't translate into work experience. But employers today want you for two things. They want you to have the skills, which is a given, to know you can do the job. And secondly, they want you to have experience. Okay? If you don't have the skills and you don't have the experience, you cannot get that job. You would struggle to land that job. And when you combine skills and experience together, This is what you call or refer to as competence. Okay. And for us at Amdari, we always say one thing: competence over credentials, any day, anytime. Okay. So somebody's asking, when is the next cohort starting? We have a new cohort that commence on the 8th of November. And we have an amazing early Black Friday discount for you. And that was what Joyce said. For those who stay till the end, we have amazing discounts, but the slots are very limited. Okay, we have just 5 slots left for the early Black Friday discount. So for any of the programs you're interested in joining, if you're interested in joining cybersecurity, the SOC, so cybersecurity is broken down into 3 specializations: the SOC analyst or threat intelligence, ethical hacking or penetration testing, and governance, risk, and compliance, GRC. Okay, so what you do is you select one of the 3, because cybersecurity is broad. And if you want to land a job, you need to know exactly the area to focus on, and you go all in to land that job. Right? So instead of paying the original amount of £500 to get started, you get to pay just £299. And the beauty about this is you can make payments in multiple installments. You don't have to pay the $299 at once. You make your payments in 3 installments, maximum of 3 installments. Okay. So, and that's the amazing stuff. So to get started, all you need is just about £99, less than £100. This is the amount you spend when you go to Tesco, Primark, you go to the mall. One shopping, you spend £99. But the same £99 has transformed so many professionals, transformed their careers, and helped them land jobs, transforming their skills into work experience. Okay. So I'm going to show you, for those who want to get started, I'll show you how to get started. My colleague would share the link in the we'll share the link in the comments, okay, in the chat, and you can click on that link and get access. The discount is only available for the first 5 people to register. Okay, so we have just 5 slots left, and the discount is only available for the first 5 people to get started. Now, I was speaking to somebody about, I think, last week, and he told me that he has been following Amdari since March this year, since the beginning of the year, since March. He missed out in March, missed out in April, June, July, August, September. Now we are in October, and he said, I can't afford to miss this discount. Okay, so if you're that type of person who has been following for a very long time, joining one session, joining the other session, this is the best time for you to get started. And how do you start? All you have to do is click the link, and I'll show you how. Once you click on this link, it takes you to the payment center. All right. And the payment center is where you get to see, you can chat with us right here. If you click on this, it opens up into WhatsApp. You get to chat with us, and you have the registration form. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then you have the terms and conditions. Absolutely important for you to read this. And say you're interested in joining, say, SOC, for example. Okay, you're interested in joining the SOC analyst program or ethical hacking or GRC. All you have to do is come in here. You see the Black Friday discounts. So once the slots are gone, the discount is also gone. You click on secure your internship. It opens up into where you get to make payments. All right. It's 4 months of walking through multiple projects, walking through um, support, guidance, mentorship, interview prep, providing you with a reference that lasts for 2 years. Okay. So all you have to do is come in here. You'd see the different payment options. You can make a one-time payment of £299. You can make 2 monthly payments of £149 or £99 to get started. So let's assume I select the 3 monthly payments. Okay. I click on that and I click on secure internship. So you'd get to see your first payment comes in today. The next payment comes in 16th of November, and the third payment comes in December. So before the end of 2025, you'd have completed your program, you completed your payment, and you'd be close to completing your program with us. So Q4 and Q1, that's where you have the highest number of recruitment by organizations. Because in Q4, all the hiring managers are back from summer holidays, they're back into the office, and they want to take advantage of hiring and placing talent into positions to help them, execute on the projects that they have in the coming year. And in Q1 in the new year, 2026, that's where you have organizations and recruiters hiring to fix talent into key positions to execute on projects, execute on initiatives for that year. So you got somebody looking to land a job. You want to target Q4, you want to target Q1, and the best time to start is now. So if you click on proceed, it takes you to where you get to complete your payments. So you see that right there, 99.67. That's what I have to pay to get started. Okay, the next payment comes in the next month. The third payment comes in the subsequent month. I enter my name, Adeza Suleiman. Enter your email, enter your phone number. Okay, enter your phone number. Start with sorry. Okay, so enter your phone number. I think first of all, select the country, enter your number, and then you go ahead and proceed. So once you do that, you confirm that your email is correct, looks good. And then you go ahead to select how you want to make payments. With a credit card, with a debit card, you fill all the details, and go ahead to make payments. And once you do this, you'll be redirected automatically to a registration form. Okay, the registration form looks like this. So if you don't complete the registration immediately, it gets into your email and you can simply fill that afterwards. All right. And this is the registration form. You click on that, you fill all the details. The next cohort starts on the 8th of November. Okay. So you fill all the details, your first name, your last name, your email, the country you're joining from, and that's what gets you into the program. Okay. So you filled out the form. Titilayo, absolutely fantastic. So once you've done that, that's all you need. Okay, so on the 8th of November, you get started. You'd have an onboarding session and you start your journey into gaining work experience in any of the areas that you've selected. All right, so I'm going to take a pause, and there are so many more success stories. I'm sure Joy would have one or two to share with you. So these are some of our interns, for example. This is Timmy. And Timmy also recorded a video. He's a cybersecurity analyst, joined our cybersecurity program. I think he joined the SOC analyst program and got a job. And I'm going to play Timmy's video and then we'll come back and then take questions for those of you that have questions for me. All right. So let's listen to Timmy very quickly. And then I think Timmy is a short form, and this is Timmy Tokwe, his full name. He joined penetration testing. Okay, so let's listen to Timmy Tokwe. Let's hear his journey, all the things he was able to gain, how he was able to make his transition, and then we come back to take questions. Now, what I want you to do is just a 59-second video, but listen carefully. Listen to the things that Timmy Tokwe was able to gain. What didn't he have before that he has now? What has made him a lot more confident to land a job? All right. So let's hear from Temi Tokwe. Can you hear Temi Tokwe? No, I'm not sure you can. Okay. So I need to share.
Yes,
I
sir,
need
it's
to reshare.
paused.
Yes. Just give me 1 second and I'll share so you all get to hear what Temi Tokwe has to say. All right. So you're going to listen and hear Temi Tokwe now. Okay. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I'm Dari. I recently. Hello everyone, my name is Temi Tokwe. Hello everyone, my name is Temi Tokwe and I'm here to talk about Amdari. I recently started my internship at Amdari as a penetration testing consultant, and I can tell you that the experience has been nothing short of transformative. There has been projects that are hands-on, real-life experience, and lots of skills and knowledge added to me as a result of this internship. I will also want to specially mention Hepzibah, my mentor, who has been very supportive, who is always there to guide and share out of our wealth of knowledge. Lastly, I would like to say that Amdari is doing a very good job, and I would recommend them to anyone who would like to gain hands-on experience, real-life experience before transitioning into a new career. Thank you.
Hi everybody, this is Stephanie from Ghana, and I recently
Okay, so that's Stephanie from Ghana just about to speak, but you listen to Temi Tokwe. Temi Tokwe joined ethical hacking and penetration testing, doing an amazing job. He was able to gain the work experience that he needed to land a job. All right. So I'm going to take a breather at this point. We're going to take questions. So if you have questions for me, you have questions for Joy, please feel free and go ahead to ask your questions. We'll be very happy to answer those questions. But remember, the discounted slots we have available is just for the first 5 people to register from this session. Okay, so from the session you're joining now, the first 5 people to register from this session. All right. So if you have questions for me, please, you can send the question into the chat or you can raise your hand and I'll be very happy to call you up to ask your question. All right. And I would also look into the chat and see if we have more questions from anyone else. Okay, so Joy, I don't know if you can see any questions, anyone I would have missed while I was speaking. Just point me to it. Titilaya is saying, I did not receive a sign in. I filled out the form. Okay, Titilaya, you're going to get that. Okay, so sign up. Okay, Omomi has responded to that. Okay, so just fill the sign in, create an account, and you'd have access to that. Joy is asking, when is the next cohort after November? So we've had cohorts all through the year, from January, from last year, every single month, we have a new cohort. Okay, so after November, we have a cohort in December, and I think the cohort in December would start on the 6th of December, but the discount will be off by then. So this is a very limited discount where rather than paying £500, you get to pay just £299. So you are saving over £200, about almost over 40%. All right. So you can also start in January if you want to start, but you cannot pay now and start in January. You can only defer by a month. So if you pay now and you don't want to start in November, you want to start in December, yes, you can. You can defer to start a month ahead of the cohorts that should have commenced the month before. Okay. So if you pay now, Joy, rather than, and you don't want to start in November, you can start on the 6th of December, right? And I would advise you to get started that way. Okay. The fees would totally change in January and you'd have to pay a lot more. Let me see if we have more questions in the chat. Titilayo is saying, I've paid for November. Okay. I think Omomi has sorted you out. Titilayo. Toluwa Lashe is saying, how can I join the internship program? So what you want to do, Tolu, the link and my slide will be shared with you at the end of today's session, shared to those who have filled the attendance form. Okay, so my colleague passed the attendance in the chat throughout the session from the beginning up until this moment. So if you haven't filled the attendance, please go ahead and do that. So you have access to all the materials, the recording, and so on and so forth. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So if you listen to Temi talk where he said something that he wants to give a shout out to his mentor, Hepzibah. Hepzibah Jato is the cybersecurity lead. So has over about a decade experience in cybersecurity. And this is somebody who's going to walk you through or through your journey. Okay, even if you've registered for penetration testing, ethical hacking, SOC analyst, or GRC, you'll be working with professionals. Myself, Omolmi, the co-founder, Ifemena, the co-founder, with experience in Ireland, experience in the UK, experience working for companies in the US and also in Canada. So let me take Ifeanyi. I'm going to take questions for the next 3 to 4 minutes, and then we call it a day. Ifeanyi, please go ahead. Let's hear from you. You can unmute yourself and ask a question, Ifeanyi. Can somebody unmute Ifeanyi and help him out?
So I think he can unmute now because we now have opportunity to unmute ourselves. So I think
All
he
right.
can unmute.
Ifeanyi, you're muted, but we didn't hear anything. Okay. So while you're trying to sort out your audio, Ifeanyi, if you can type your question in the chat so we don't miss your question, please go ahead and do that. And for anyone who wants to reach out to us via email or you want to send us a message, you can do that using the numbers on my slide. Okay. Or you can simply, if you have any issue with payments or any issue regarding how to make payments, you want to make payments using an alternative means. Perhaps you cannot pay, you don't have a credit or debit card. You want to do a transfer to our bank account. You can do that. Just send an email to finance@amdari.io, and one of my colleagues will respond to you and help you out with any issues that you might have. Okay, so let's hear from Obaru. Obaru, your hand is up. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you for the wonderful presentation. My name is Obaro. Please, I'm coming from the medical line, and it's this area of where to really dive into in within GRC and SOC has been giving me a great concern. Though I've already started for the cohort for November, I already
Okay.
started for GRC, but I'm a bit concerning this thing called documentation, and the prospect of job markets within the two, because I really need sponsorship job in the UK because I'm on post study. I need to be
Okay.
strategic. I want my
Yep.
post study running out
Yep.
of time. I have
Yep.
few months. I have to be very very strategic, not just to just join and just be there looking and saying, oh, maybe I'll get it. So no, I'm working with time here. So as you as a professional that's been in the field, can you guide me to what the future prospect between these two, where I can easily, as in, find my feet? Because I'm coming from a medical line, and where I can easily find my feet, get a sponsorship job, in either SOC or GRC. So I really need guidance. I really need guidance because I'm a bit confused right now.
All right. So I think Joy is going to come to give you some clarity regarding SOC and GRC. Okay. But one thing I'm going to help you with is you don't like one thing that is sacrosanct and very important for people to know is no matter your career, no matter what you've done before, you can always transition into a new career. You need to have that mindset shift, that change in mindset. I studied industrial chemistry myself. Okay. And I've worked as a data analyst. I've worked as a business data analyst, management information systems analyst, as a data engineer, data scientist across my entire career. Okay. I've worked in different sectors as well. I've worked in energy, educational technology, sports, financial services, and automobile when I was in the UK. Now, having said that, you are doing the right thing, Obaro. And what's the right thing? The right thing is starting early. Okay. Preferably, I'd have told you to start while you were doing your master's. Okay. Because now you're on postgraduate, you're on your post study visa for the next 2 years. And for those who I think apply between now and I think January, maybe January 2027, if I'm correct, with the new changes, before then, you still have 2 years. After that, you have 18 months. on your post-study visa. So you want to make the best use of the 2 years. So you are doing things right. You are starting early, and you don't want to document. It's totally fine. There's always a pathway for anyone, depending on your own specific type of person. Okay, you don't like to have multiple meetings. You're not very outgoing, and so on and so forth. There is a pathway for you. So if you don't want to do a whole lot of documentation, then GRC might not be the best way for you to go. Okay, Joy is going to give you more technical advice on that. All right. But I'll always advise keep your options open as much as possible. Okay. What was the reason? Why did you select GRC in the first place? Is it because GRC is less technical on, not as technical as SOC? Why exactly did you register for GRC, Obaru?
Yes, it's because it's not. I don't like technicality when it comes because it's a new field I'm going into. That's technicality stuff. I don't
Yeah.
really like it. I'm not really a technical person. Making
Yeah.
waves just becoming too difficult for me, too complex. It's not my thing. So that's why I just say, okay, GRC can be a flexible area for me. But the area of
Option for, yeah.
documentation, that aspect,
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
really.
Okay. Your baby is also trying to join our session today. So that's fine. I totally understand, Obaru. And most of the time, people that join GRC coming from a non-IT background, people that want to get into cybersecurity, I beg your pardon, and come from a non-IT background would prefer GRC because it's not as technical. Okay, but you have to have a trade-off. You can't want your cake, have your cake, and have another cake again. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what you're doing, Obaru. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you want to say something?
Yeah, my friend actually told me about GRC. Yes, the guy has been giving me, as in, I've been watching videos in GRC, but
Yeah,
concerning the practical aspects, that's where I've been missing things. That's where I get to know more about GRC, but I'm not using any of the tools when it
yeah,
comes to GRC. I don't even know the much documentation they are talking about. It's just video I watch on YouTube. They were not
yeah,
saying documentation, a lot of documentation on GRC and stuff like that.
yeah,
So I found in those
yeah.
his videos, the Indian lady that was teaching us classes upon classes on stuff like that, but he couldn't continue because he's a very busy person. Him into cyber security, he has been
Mm,
there for years, but he's a very busy person. So
yeah,
that's why. Okay. Since let
yeah.
me join since January. I've been following Nigeria. I've just said, oh, okay, because many
Time to
videos.
start. Yeah,
So I don't know where to start from there. And all of a sudden, I just say, okay, let me really take Nigeria serious this month and
yeah,
future in November, call home
yeah.
size. Cause, yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So you need to have a trade-off. And the trade-off might be that you might just have to do a lot of documentation if you go for GRC. Okay. Um, or you simply go for the other one, which is more technical, less documentation. But one thing I would say is if you have zero knowledge as a cybersecurity professional, understanding some tools and technologies in SOC, and you just want to start from ground zero, you'd find that more challenging. Okay. So I'm going to give Joy, I'll hand over to Joy to guide you on that. Just remember and just know that you must have a trade off. So you go for
yeah,
GRC. Yes, it involves some documentation, but it is less technical. It will be a lot more straightforward for you. But
yeah,
either of the two programs, anyone you
yeah,
decide to go for, just know one thing. You will put in the effort, you will put in the time and the commitment. It doesn't mean that because GRC is non-technical, it requires less commitment. No. If it were
yeah.
that easy, everybody would be GRC consultant today. So I'll hand over to Joy to add one or two, and then I'll come in if I need to.
Okay,
Again, Joy, over to you.
thank you.
Hello, Obaru. My colleague has said it all right? So it depends on your strengths and weaknesses, okay? So you already mentioned that you don't really like practical and stressful stuff. So you find SOC very challenging, all right? Especially as you are migrating from a medical background to GRC or to cybersecurity background. So whichever one you choose to decide on the path to follow, right? So either one is fine. Just know your strengths and weaknesses, all right? GRC is also okay. SOC is also okay, all right? So just choose the one that you are comfortable with and the one you feel like you can do, okay? Both are both lucrative and all of them are selling in the markets, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and what to summarize, Obaro, what that means is you've made the right decision. The particular program you chose appears to be the right one. I believe you chose GRC. Is that correct?
Yes, I've already paid for GRC. I paid
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I've already
Absolutely.
paid.
So you would have all the support you need to ensure
Okay.
that when it comes to that part you find challenging, we're always going to find something challenging when
Yeah,
transitioning. For me,
yeah.
when I was transitioning, I found SQL a lot challenging.
Okay.
SQL was very difficult for me. If I had my way, I would have not, bothered to learn SQL, but I had to since I wanted to get into that career path. Fast forward 12 years later, here I am today. And
Wow.
I thank my stars and everything that I actually, went through fire to learn those skills because that's what got me to where I am today. So there's always going to be that trade-off eventually, but I think you've made the right decision and you have all the support you need to
But
thrive. Okay.
what's the job prospect for this GRC in the UK?
It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So the best way for you to check, just go on LinkedIn and search GRC
Okay.
related roles, go on different platforms, the platform you use normally, search for these jobs, and you'd get to find them. They can come in different titles, not necessarily governance, risk, and compliance analysts. Okay. So, but just put that as a keyword, and you'd see the different type of jobs that will come up. But for job opportunities in the UK, it is eligible for the skilled worker visa, number one, and it is in high demand for those trying to land jobs in cybersecurity. Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll check it out.
It's a pleasure anytime. Let's take Ifine. I think Ifine, no, Vincent and then Ifine. Vincent, please go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Vincent. Where are you joining us from today?
Um, Joining from Nigeria.
From Nigeria. Where in Nigeria?
Lagos State. Yeah, Unilag side.
Fantastic. Good to have you on board, Vincent. So let's hear your question.
Okay, so the thing is I have knowledge in the field I already chose under Amdari. So I just
Okay.
wonder that what is the added knowledge that I will be getting moving
What
forward in the field?
what field
So
did you
what is the
join?
added knowledge? I registered for cybersecurity,
Okay.
penetration testing, and ethical
Okay.
hacking.
Fantastic.
So,
So go ahead.
so I have experiences from Try Hack Me, Hack the Box. That's where I've been learning one or two about the field. So joining Amdari now, what is the added advantage I'll be getting apart
Okay.
from the job aspect? Like,
Okay. Apart from jobs. So let me
yeah,
ask you very quickly, Vincent. Why did you register to join Amdari?
because
I don't know if it's my network, but I don't think so. But I
I
can't
already
hear
know.
Vincent. Sorry,
Can you hear
Vincent,
me?
we lost you. We lost you for a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I said I joined Amdari because I just wanted to have a broad knowledge about the field because cybersecurity is something that I've always been interested in, like for a long time.
Okay. Broad knowledge. Absolutely fantastic. So it's always important that we always keep on learning and upskilling as much as possible. Now, apart from the knowledge you already have, what you stand to gain, number one, is the opportunity to work on real world projects for the next 4 months. Okay. And you're not working on those projects alone. All right. Your very first project would be done individually. You'd work on that project alone. And then you'd have subsequent projects that you'd collaborate with other professionals. Okay. And what that does for you is not just building your skills and improving your skills, but also learning communication skills, interpersonal skills, and so on. You're going to interact with people from across multiple regions. Okay. I forgot to ask Obaro where he was joining from, but majority
from the UK. Sorry to
from
cut
the
you from the.
UK. No problem. Absolutely. 95% of our consultants are from the UK. Okay. We have a couple, about 3% from the US, and then we have others from different other regions, Canada, Ireland, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you have the opportunity to interact, connect, work on problems, collaborating and solving those problems. Now, number two is you'd be working for a company that operates out of London in the UK, UK work experience, and also Alberta in Canada, Canada work experience. So if you're someone that wants to land a remote job and you have on your CV and LinkedIn that you work for a company based in in the UK or a company based in Canada, that gives you credibility to land remote jobs. You have access to our job board. If you joined early, you'd have heard when I talked about the type of jobs we post on the job board. Okay, so apart from just the jobs you see on conventional platforms, you have access to jobs that are from platforms that are paid platforms. And you can apply to those jobs, remote jobs, jobs across multiple regions. And that gives you exclusive access to jobs that ordinarily you would not have access to. Number four, I've lost count now. You'd also have access to professionals, both technical and non-technical. Okay, I'm not a cybersecurity professional. I'm a data analytics professional, but I've had experience working across multiple regions. I've worked in Nigeria with one of the largest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa. I've worked in the UK in the automobile sector. I've worked for companies in the US. I currently work for companies in Canada. Okay, I live in Alberta, I work in Canada at the moment. So you have the opportunity to gain work experience from professionals that have treaded the path you want to follow and can give you guidance and support. You can bounce ideas off your mentor. Before I jumped on this session today, I had a call with a mentor who is in Ghana, who recently got an offer, got an interview, I beg your pardon, got an interview, and he's trying to negotiate if they can they can move the interview a bit forward because he had some challenges and so on. So I jumped on a call with him to advise him on how to navigate the process, the type of email he should send to them, and so on and so forth. So you have that access. Okay. You also have access to interviews. Everybody wants to either, you know, move to the next level or even move completely to a new role. So you want to get a new job or you want to move vertically to the next role above. You have an interview. We prep you for that interview. And I'll give you a very good example. There was a gentleman who joined one of our work experience programs, and he worked in an organization that did not have a data analytics department. Okay, it's a mental health organization, and he came to me and he told me that, look, all the things I now know how to do, I believe I can add value to the organization I work in at the moment. And I guided him on how to come up with a pitch, okay, implementation plan for the next 90 days. If I have this role or I get the opportunity to deliver on this, this is what I'll do in 90 days. We worked on the pitch together. We refined the pitch. I advised him and guided him on how to tell his line manager. Now, guess what happened to this gentleman? He did all the things I did. He pitched his idea to them. That was in March this year, 2025. By May, about 3 months after, they created a new department for him and they gave him a role. He moved from his previous role to a new role as a data and compliance lead. Okay, so the very first employee to hold that role in that company. And how did the role come about? It came about making a pitch to the line manager on what he could offer to them based on what he had learned with us. Okay, so that's the type of confidence and the type of access you have and opportunities that you never even imagined you could get. You have access to those opportunities. All right. And of course, I talked about the reference letters. If you get a job, we serve as your referee. We provide you with references. We refer you. We fill all those forms for you. For those of you who want to move, you might decide, okay, I want to apply for the global talent visa. I want to get this technician endorsement, for example, and apply for the global talent visa. And for you to do that, you need some pieces of evidence, and you also need to be recommended by at least 3 industry leaders within the digital economy, preferably in the UK. So having mentors that can write this recommendation letter for you within the tech ecosystem, the digital economy gives you access to, gives you a higher chance to landing your endorsement. And we've done this for so many people, for the technician endorsement, and they've gone ahead to get either the global talent or the global promise visa eventually. Okay. Vincent, I don't know if I answered your question. Vincent from Nigeria. Yep.
That's my question. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure anytime.
All right.
It's a pleasure. Okay, I think I'll take one more question and then we call it a day because of time. I'll take from Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, you've had your hand up for a while. So Adetutu and Oladeji, you can type your question into the chat and I'll just quickly pick it from there because of time. So Ifeanyi, let's hear from you. Where are you joining from, Ifeanyi? Hi, Ifeanyi, can you hear me? Okay, I think Ifeanyi is currently struggling. I can see you're unmuted, but we can't hear anything from your end. So let me take Adetutu. Adetutu, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry though. I came halfway through the program.
Okay.
My question is, I want to find out for some like me now, I'm not really very sure where I fit in.
Yep.
I have a background in accounting. I've done management as well. So looking at all these tech roles, I really don't know where exactly I'm interested, but I really don't know what exactly I'm supposed to go for. I think that's my number one challenge. The number two, I also want to find out. I heard you talking about job boards.
Yes.
Those job boards, are they international? As in, I'm in UK.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for me to get a role in the US?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another question I want to find out.
Okay. Brilliant. So let me just find out from you Adetutu.
Okay.
We have quite a number of programs that we offer for our work experience. Data analytics, data science, data engineering, and business analysis, agile project management. And for cybersecurity, we have the Security Operations Center, GRC, Governance, Risk and Compliance, and then we have ethical hacking, penetration testing. Now, one of the first things you want to do is you can't come into any of these programs completely blank.
Okay.
Okay. So as an accountant, for example, if you add analytics to your skills, you become a financial analyst. And that's something I always advise a lot of accountants to do. We've had accountants become project managers as well. But typically, as an accountant, if you add data analytics to the skills you have in accounting or finance, you easily would fit into a financial analyst role. And a financial analyst is a data analyst that focuses on financial records. Okay, they help with cost optimization. They help with scenario analysis, sensitivity and scenario analysis. They help to build financial models and so on and so forth using tools that the data analyst would use: Microsoft Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Tableau. So out of all these tools I've highlighted, do you know how to use Excel, Power BI, SQL, or Tableau?
Excel.
Anyone? Just Excel.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would advise you to do, I would need to further analyze your skill level to advise you on what to join. Okay. So like I said, Amdari is not a training organization that trains you to get into one of these roles. We help you gain the work experience that you need. So you will have some level of skills, and then we work with you to build those skills into work experience for you. So what I advise you to do, I'm going to drop the link into the chat. My colleagues would also take note of your name, Adetutu, and reach out to you. All right.
Okay.
So go to the link, amdari.io,
Okay.
and then you'd see our beautiful co-founder right here. I don't know if you can see my screen, Adetutu.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so click here to chat with a real person. Okay, so if you click on this, it brings you here. You can either call us or chat or speak to an expert. So go here and click on speak to an expert.
Okay.
All right. It opens up into a Calendly, and from here you can select your preferred date, your preferred time, and a career coach would ask you more questions, assess your skills, and guide you categorically on what to do and where to join. All right. For your second question on the job board, yes, the jobs are from different regions, most especially the UK, the US, Canada, okay, and across Europe for those who want to get remote jobs. So we get the jobs from different platforms. Let me go there very quickly again, one more time. So you'd see some of the platforms we get the job from. Okay, Glassdoor, GitHub, Career Builder, Wellfound, Flex Jobs, and so on and so forth. And all you have to do, if you're in a different region, you want to search for jobs, you are currently in the UK, for example, or you are currently in Nigeria, you are wherever, just come in here and click and type in the location you want to find, United States or a particular state, Tucson, Arizona, wherever you want to get that remote job, you do that here. Okay. And that's how we currently have about 7,000 jobs on the platform right now. So apart from just using the job board, we guide you on other areas you can also focus on in trying to land the job, where to apply and how to apply as well. Okay. Does that answer your question, Adetutu?
Yeah, it does.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to call it a day at this point. And like I said, for those of you that have questions, you want to speak to us, make sure you fill the attendance. Very important. So you have access to all the materials we've shared today. You can also go to our website. You can see the early Black Friday. We have 5 slots for those that joined from today's session, but altogether we have about 10 slots left. All right. So you want to take advantage and register for take advantage of the discount. Instead of paying £500, you get to pay just £299. Okay, you save over £200. So click on this, chat with a person, speak to an expert, and then you can book a date and time that is suitable for you, and that gets you into one of our clarity sessions. I'm going to stop here. What of those that joined before now? Unfortunately, the discount is for those that will be joining from now going forward, and is also very limited as well. Okay. So we're going to call it a day. If you've gotten value for your time here with us today, just give a thumbs up as we wrap up our session. You had an amazing time listening to the technicalities from Joy and me walking you through all the things you need to do and focus on. Just give a thumbs up, and we look forward to working with every single one of you joining one of our work experience programs starting in November, the 8th of November, or for those who would like to start in December, you also have that option. So thank you very much for being a part of your Thursday evening, afternoon, depending